Pan American Airways, also known as Pan Am, was founded in 1927. It began as an airmail service between Key West, Florida, and Havana, Cuba. Pan Am went on to increase its network by accepting new government airmail contracts. Within a year, Juan Trippe took control of Pan Am and introduced its first passenger services to Havana. At the time, an ad campaign co-sponsored by Pan Am and Bacardi successfully encouraged Americans to fly away from alcohol prohibition to drink rum in the sun in Cuba. Because they flew seaplanes, Pan Am pilots wore sea captains' uniforms, a decision that influenced the creation of aviation uniforms today. By 1930, Pan Am was flying routes through most of Central and South America. They were well known for their float planes, known as clippers. The clippers were able to land on the water at destinations that didn't have concrete runways for traditional planes. Throughout the 1930s, it expanded its operations to cover more routes both internationally and in the United States. In 1937, Pan Am secured contracts to begin transatlantic flights. Throughout the 1950s and 1960s, it marketed its airline as luxurious. Pan Am's pressurized aircraft could fly smoothly above turbulent weather, which provided a comfortable experience for passengers. Its lavish cabins of comfortable seating were staffed by college-educated flight crews who served luxurious meals like steak, champagne, and caviar. Pan Am was now one of the biggest names in the industry. By 1958, they offered regular flights to every continent in the world except Antarctica, giving itself the title of the world's most experienced airline. Also in 1958, Pan Am became the first American airline to fly jet aircraft. A Pan Am Boeing 707 traveled from New York to Paris in 8 hours. Pan Am was the first airline to fly around the world and the first to fly from the U.S. across the Pacific. These new powerful jet engines, which could fly non-stop over long distances, allowed Pan Am to introduce daily flights to London and Paris. And with the introduction of economy class, Pan Am opened the world of air travel to tourists, not just the rich and famous. Peaking in 1970, it carried 11 million passengers to 86 countries worldwide. However, Pan Am started facing problems with increased competition. Its image of classic 50s and 60s jet-setting luxury also looked antiqued by the dawn of the new decade. Thinking that air travel would continue to grow, Pan Am invested in a large fleet of Boeing 747 jetliners. Unfortunately, shortly after, the oil crisis of 1973 hit. It hit Pan Am harder than other airlines because of its long-haul flights and larger jets, which required more fuel. Pan Am, having once called itself the world's most experienced airline, eventually filed for bankruptcy in 1991. Due to rising fuel costs, as well as the inability to operate domestic routes, were major reasons why. Purchased by Delta, Pan Am's legacy, with its iconic aviation style, still lives on as one of the largest names in aviation history.